Going on, everyone? I have something for you that will be very beneficial tonight. I um I basically came up with a way to basically break down something that's been argued about for years and years. And nobody really people argued basically with the whole idea of beta males that are primarily in like the top of society, such as your corporate CEOs that are millionaires and billionaires, but nobody really broke it down. The last person that I really heard actually mention that the fact that these guys like Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates or you know people that are quote unquote still beta males, but they definitely are higher. They're not. Well, they were saying basically that they're not beta males. Well, I'm gonna mark this as today is August 29th. This is 2020. This is the broke genius. These terms that I'm going to mention today is mine and mine only. To the best of my knowledge, nobody else in this in that I know of uh, has originated this lexicon. Today, tonight, this is going to be out here. This is my basically lexicon that I'm going to generate to you tonight. So sit back, relax. I will break this down to you how to basically explain it. I am a genius. I've not taken a Mensa test. I claim it. I've been smart my whole life. Um Sometimes I just think of things. I get light bulbs in my head. Um it just comes to me just like anybody else. I think everybody has some type of form of genius. There are multitudes of different types of geniuses. Intelligence. I am no different, but I do bring something to the table. And I'm not rich. Maybe someone will bless me tonight. And pretty much, that will be taken care of. But in any event, history still will be made tonight. Now, let's get into this. So, typically, I've heard the debate go like this. Like I said, it will be late night conversations or whatever conversations. And they'll be like, oh, well, because, another thing is that I don't really like to talk about beta males, beta females, alpha males, alpha females, because people feel really, 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 really bad about that. You know, um, I was listening to C Boogie, his live stream with Cynthia G, and Cynthia G pretty much she loves one of her monikers is Dusty Beta Males, and pretty much people generally because a lot of times nerds they are centered around the beta male discussion a lot of times, even though there are nerds that are not necessarily beta males. But people do not really like that designation. That doesn't necessarily mean it's not true. It just is what it is. But what I'm going to be talking about tonight, making history tonight, is going to help a lot of people that are nerds, that are quote unquote educated lames or classic men. I people forget. It was years ago, about 3 4 years ago. We already came to the conclusion based off of Edward Anderson. We concluded that we're not gonna even bring up educated lames in the educated lame in the lexicon. We're gonna delete that, and we're gonna he pretty much said, Edward Anderson said, we will be referred to as classic men, as far as the whole educated lame lexicon. But niggas get pussy and just drink alcohol, smoke weed or whatever, and forget and not really push it really hard. And next thing you know, people really just went back to the whole educated lame type stuff. But I mean, he said that years ago. As far as that's not the case, as classic men is what that moniker is gonna be named, but it did not stick. But nevertheless, tonight, like I said, um, I will I will make history because anybody that mentions these words, they are coming from me. Like for example, I will break down a couple things. First of all, Alan Roger Curry, he is, as he mentioned, he is the originator of the breakdown of beta males, with as far as beta male with alpha traits, beta male with beta traits. Now, the lexicon that I'm going to be bringing today, this is me, Abdul, the broke genius. I almost said my last name. But I mean, my last name is very. All you have to do is buy some of my merch, and my name is pretty public. But um, the broke genius. These lexicons, which is the title of this video, is I am the originator of it. I am the originator. I claimed it. If anybody don't give me credit, it don't matter. I'm the first one to the party. I'm these words that I'm gonna mention, which is alpha master and beta master, is it comes from me, the broke genius. So whenever you hear people mention alpha master, beta master, that's from the broke genius. Okay. Now that I brought that out there, um, the reason that I have broke this down is because I basically was pondering for years as well. Like, damn, I mean, you know, yeah, I mean, CEO for Fortune 500 top, 100 company is definitely he might be a nerd or whatever, or he might be kind of looked at as a lame. You take away the $50 billion or the millions of dollars. This person is just like a nerd guy living in an apartment, working as a teacher, in a school, just a regular nerdy guy, you know. But yeah, the fact of his status, his claims that he made in life, his state in life, his position in life, he is definitely, something. The argument led to where, basically Bill Gates is alpha male. No, Bill Gates is not an alpha. Never most likely will be an alpha. Okay, Bill Gates is a beta male, but what Bill Gates is a beta master, and I'm gonna break that down. Basically, why this beta master is important. Why it's important? Because it breaks down that whole argument. It breaks down the whole argument of basically what what these people that have these positions and where they rank in society. It breaks that down into full detail, and I'll explain why. Let me make sure the screen is being shown properly. Mute this. Just want to make sure this is shown properly in full context. Okay, so we just wanna stop that because we can't really fully see this screen. So let me go back. I'm gonna share this screen so you can see full context what I'm talking about. Okay. It's like a delay. Let me make sure. Let me make this bigger. See if I can make this bigger. Yeah, it's about as big as it's gonna get, but yeah, it's small, but you can see it. So, like I said before, um, this is something that this lexicon is something that I have brought into the ethos today. This anybody ever mention this, they got it from me, the broke genius. I mean, if they don't give me credit, irregardless, if they try to claim it for themselves, bullshit. This is the broke genius. These lexicons, alpha, beta, master, is something that I originated. Now, like I said, this is something that basically came from my intellect, me breaking down the debate as far as, we would, years ago, basically like being on a BGS hangout or something like that. He used to do the 8 hour hangouts. He still does them, but it's not, he used to do them like every Friday or Saturday or something like that years ago. And I went by the name Solar Scholar. So the argument, like I said before, was like basically, yeah. So like, yeah, Bill Gates or Larry Ellison, like, you know, they ain't just beta males. They're, and it will lead to their alpha males. And nobody ever thought about, damn, well, they're still beta males, but they're just, it's something else to it. And I didn't even think of it. This is 4 years later, getting in a time traveling machine, or just basically just coming up with the idea and just putting it out there after I just thought about it. I was like, okay, how can I break this down to make this make sense? And the whole, I'm like, okay, beta master. And it clicked. And I was like, wow, it explains everything. And then it's like unbelievably appropriate. It just like flows with it. And then also, like I said, to backtrack, this will, what I'm putting out today, I really don't care as far as how many views I get or whatever. This is basically, I know it's some like, this is some cash knowledge right here. Okay. So it's like pretty much this breaks that argument down to where you don't, it's not confusing anymore. From this day onward, it will literally, this will make sense of that whole argument. And also, it'll help guys that are particularly nerds, and or guys that are, pretty much like looked down upon and stuff like that, because basically you are higher than, even in some cases, a beta male is on a higher level than an alpha male. That is also where, because they brought up the whole idea of the beta male CEO that's a billionaire, that went to Harvard or Yale, or even maybe even graduated Harvard, a PhD, so on and so forth. In the terms of what BGS, when his octane skills and stuff like that, in his lexicon, he mentioned the uh, master of the universe. This breaks that down, what I am bringing to the table with this beta master alpha master theory, to explain that, to make it make sense, because nobody really couldn't really make it. They could like basically talk about it in a sense, but this literally drills down to make it make sense. This is why this is so cash. Like, um basically going into it, I just basically broke it down to what is a alpha master and a beta master. So a beta, in case nobody knows, like, if you just don't really understand in layman's terms, beta is basically, it even goes lower than that, but for just general purposes, a alpha male is basically typically a strong, in a sense of males as well as females, typically a strong male, typically athletic, very androgynous, meaning high testosterone, uh, typically tall. The alpha male, that doesn't even have to be tall, actually, just aggressive. As far as the pecking order, he is rarely challenged. If he is challenged, he can pretty much fend for himself. He can pretty much set himself to straighten out any challengers, such as physically, not just verbally or anything like that. He can actually, like, when you're in high school, grammar school, even preschool, even as children, you just like in the like in the farm where chickens fight or whatever, roosters, there's a established pecking order, and from that pecking order, you would have kids that, like, for example, when I was in recess, I would fight off a lot of people, because I was always coming up. Because typically, a lot of times, if your father is an alpha male, typically that's what you're gonna be. Um, but in general sense, going back to like the playground, I would always get into fights because I never was bullied. The bully, I would always fight, give him hell. So typically, when I was like in grammar school and stuff like that, I would get into fights with bullies, and I would fight other guys, other young boys that were my age, and I would be ferocious enough to where they would eventually back off me, or we just have continuous fights. In the 80s, it was a lot of fights, but recess and stuff like that. So I had to establish myself as someone that was an alpha male. Okay, so that I didn't know anything. I was 6, 7 years old. I didn't know anything about an alpha male or beta male. I've never heard anything. The first time I probably ever heard anything of the alpha or beta was when I was like probably a teenager, watching the Nature Channel, because in a wolf pack, that's what they talk about, the alpha and the beta, and also the Charlie and the Delta and all that type of stuff as far as in the wolf pack. And then further along, when I was in college, I wanted to pledge a fraternity, and it was, at first I wanted to be a Kappa because I was into like being a pretty boy and stuff like that. Then when I went to college, I was like around I was in it was about 1999. I was on the campus. I didn't go to University of Illinois, but I was always around the campus, and I would go to these parties. So the campus threw the best parties, and I would be in this party, and I'd be outside, I'd be inside or whatever, and then outside I noticed these Q dogs. They was stomping because the Kappa house had, it was an actual house with lawn, just typical house. So these Q dogs with these boots, man, stuff like that, they were stomping on the grass of the Kappa's house. So I mean, they were unchallenged. I mean, these guys typically these guys was like look like they like football player type build, and they were Q dogs, and they were literally the Kappas would just let them stomp on their grass. They would just literally stomping on their grass. Now I saw that and I was like, damn, wow, okay. And then I never pledged because you had to, I had issues with stability and stuff like that. Grades and being able to pledge, you had to actually be in a university, and all these like complications and actual like qualifications. So when it came down to it, then I was like, you know what? I My cousin was an alpha. My grandparents' next door neighbor was an alpha, and I was like, I wanted to be an alpha, and I literally settled up, and then also off. I have to mention I met a chick. Well, yeah, I met a chick that was a AKA. That also what led me to want to be an alpha, because it was like she was like probably I would say like kind of like a thunderbolt to me. And if you don't know what thunderbolt is, you'd have to go to BGS to get his terminologies and his lexicon. It's basically someone that you really liked or had a loving for, that you're pretty much just kind of struck you, similar to a Cupid's arrow. But I basically, that is where, because of the Greek lettering, that is where I got all of this from, as far as this whole beta and alpha stuff. And then you also have the Phi Beta Sigmas that are also a Black Greek letter organization. So from all of that, um, I eventually got into a religion and stuff like that, and I did not have the aspirations to ever pledge or anything like that. But I say all that to say that is my terminologies as far as before I ever knew of actually humans being also classified in the sense of animal in the animal kingdom, alpha and beta. Okay, so I really didn't know about that until when I got to YouTube about 5 or 6 years ago, I would say. Um, I really got into depth into it probably I would say about 4 years ago. So I don't really talk about the whole alpha beta lexicon that much, and primarily is because a lot of people get offended by it, but also it really I really just don't go into that too much. But I decided to go into it with this video, and I will be talking about it more. But this actual terminology, alpha beta master, it explains this whole dichotomy to break down basically that a beta master is on a higher level than alpha males. Okay. So, for example, I have Jeff Bezos. Um, Jeff Bezos is actually he is the founder of Amazon, and his current net worth is close to about $200 billion. Very, very intelligent individual. I did not put his I don't know his like school um as far as his education background. 'Cause I really don't follow. I be honest with you, Jeff Bezos is someone that I did not really follow until probably like the last 5 years. Um, until when Amazon basically kind of really took off. But um, from just the glance of his educational black background, he actually has a bachelor's degree from Princeton, okay, in engineering. So he is highly intelligent, okay. So he is, by his particular personality characteristics, he is a beta male. But by him being on his highest peak as far as level, as far as being a master of the universe, he is also the founder of Blue Origin, which is an aerospace company. um he is a master of the universe as well, and but he is a beta master, okay. And like I said, what is an alpha and beta master? It is a beta or alpha that outranks alphas and also is the top of society based off of intelligence, wealth, status, and power. So, by that very example, Jeff Bezos, even just being a beta, he is above the guy that, you know, is buff as hell, in the gym at LA Fitness. He is above the most strongest alpha football player that is in the NFL. He is only probably outranked by the alphas in the next slide. So to challenge everything in the pecking order, you also have alpha masters. So the example for alpha master is Vladimir Putin. Now, Vladimir Putin is the president of Russia. He is, as far as his intelligence background, he, let's look him up because I don't know his educational background as well, but I do know his actual career field. And his career field, pretty much because I have to, I chose him. Let's just say that everyone's watching this live stream now. That's all I can say. So, yeah. So let me see if they say anything about his educational background. Okay, so he went to the State University of Leningrad. I guess that would be in Russia. So he graduated with a law degree in the mid 70s. Okay, great. Intelligent individual as well. So going back to him, he is ex KGB operative, intelligence special officer in the KGB, and he rose to the ranks, and basically he was one of the top spies in Russia. Okay, so now he pretty much is the president of Russia, and yeah, He is an alpha male. He is a Brazil. I mean, he's a black belt in jujitsu. So yeah, he is alpha male by proxy. Take away the law degree from Leningrad. Take away the KGB spy operative. Um, take away any of the educational background, anything by default being aggressive, physical, androgynous, jujitsu practitioner, black belt. He is an alpha male. But by adding all of the accolades and things that he's done in his life and achievements, he is alpha master. So he will outrank, Jeff Bezos or Warren Buffett or all of these like CEOs or beta masters. He would outrank them. Okay, um, and also all of the other standard alphas and standard um, you know uh, regular beta males and all of that. But like I said, this is actually my masterpiece. This is my lexicon that I bless to the world for free 99. This is the alpha and beta master theory. Um, Without further ado, enjoy this. This is what I had on the docket for last couple of days. I've been working on this. I've been busy, been traveling, doing my accolades as far as me striving to be an alpha master myself. I also studied jujitsu for about 3 years. I've wrestled in high school. I played basketball. I was not on a basketball team, but I was very competitive. The coach, he made an agreement my senior year that I could practice because I worked really really hard in conditioning. But I got into it with other alpha males in the basketball team that were younger, and it just didn't work out. But I've played football when I was in the Navy, and I've done quite a bit, as far as in my life. Since I was a kid, I've been an alpha male, and I will further break down the whole alpha beta topic. I'll do that in another video. But this basically, in short, you can you can also lose your alpha rank as well. Like for example, if you are alpha male and you get grossly out of shape or lose your aggressiveness and stuff like that, you can lose your alpha rank. Most people don't because it's very very dominant. um and as far as being a beta, you can also rise to be an alpha. I will go further in that. I probably will put that into the Patreon of my videos, because actually I do have a Patreon and I need to start putting stuff in there. So what I'll probably do is go further into this and give you a teaser. And if you want to know further, my Patreon, I think, is like $3 a month starting. And I also have other options as well. Like I think my second tier, you actually give me a video of your choosing that you want to actually me to research and actually do a video on. So the third tier is $50 a month, and that one is unique because, for example, if you are a budding YouTuber or you just want to be on YouTube, right? You want to be on a live stream, and also you want to actually be on the live stream and talk about a topic of your choosing, because it won't be my topic, it'll be your topic. For $50 a month, you'll be my co-host. You will actually bring your topic and we'll talk about it and we'll dialogue on it, and you will be the co-host and you'll get that once a month. You don't necessarily have to use that option if you don't want to. If you just want to get that as far as you just want to show appreciation, that you're more welcome to do that as well. So, without further ado, this is the Bro Genius. You don't have to argue about Bill Gates, who pretty much my uncle worked for, he knows him. We went out to dinner a few times and stuff like that. You don't have to break down saying Bill Gates is an alpha male because he's got billions of dollars. No, he's not a beta. I mean, he's not an alpha male. He's a beta master. He trumps most alpha males and betas because he's a beta master. So this helps you explain it, So alpha master is pretty much self-explanatory as well. So this helps you explain all of that. If I ever hear anybody having any problem with that, I'm gonna step in the live stream or the chat. I'm gonna send a super chat, whatever. I'm gonna be like, nope, he's a beta master. And then if you say I'm lying or I'm bringing up some bull crap or whatever, or some hogwash, I'm basically you don't know what the hell you're talking about because I already broke it down. You welcome to challenge this theory as well, but this is already pretty much self-explanatory. I laid it out to you. Um, it's pretty much served on a platter. So, yep, this is it. You have it. History is made. This is in the lexicon. Alpha and beta master.